What's going on, everybody? I'm Primalliquid and I have some awesome, exciting news for you guys today. Final Fantasy IX is getting an anime. But before we talk about that though, did you know 68% of you watching these videos aren't even subscribed? So unless you want me making these videos out of a cardboard box, let's change that, shall we? And don't worry. I'll give you guys a few seconds so you can even hit that notification bell and like button while you're down there. Come on guys, don't worry, you've got enough time. Right, with that out of the way though, and me no longer having the fear of a cardboard box, let's actually talk about the Final Fantasy IX anime, shall we? Now, this is coming from multiple sources, and if you pay attention to, any of the online media forums or anything like that, you might already have seen this because it does, the story did break a few hours ago now. But let's actually just jump into it, shall we? So the article that I'm going to be showing you guys right now is from RPG site, but I will have a few different sources down below in the description if you want to take a look yourself. You know, maybe you don't trust RPG site and you want to look at something else. No problem. I got you covered down in the description. Right, so Final Fantasy IX might be able to see its story told in a whole new medium, with a French production company allegedly entering an agreement with Square Enix to adapt the beloved FF title into an animated TV series that'll be aimed at kids aged between 8 and 13 years old. Now, straight off the bat, I know it's a French company making this. Please let's not get into the argument of anime versus a cartoon. Yes, it's not made in Japan, however, a lot of people consider Avatar, The Last Airbender, to be anime. That wasn't made in Japan either. And until we actually see the anime/cartoon when it releases, we don't know if it's going to be an anime or cartoon. So for now, I'm sticking with anime just because of the fact Square Enix is probably going to work on it as well. So the production company, Pbird Studios, is said to be putting the finishing touches on a project Bible, according to kids TV industry news site Kidscreen. With both that and an agreement with Square Enix in hand, the production company will begin to pitch the series to broadcasters and other partners. Now, straight off the bat, what this means is they already have permission from Square to make an anime. So the hardest part of this now is pretty much done. Like, getting permission from Square is probably the hardest part of this step. Getting a broadcaster is not going to be that difficult when you've got a title like Final Fantasy and a company like Square behind you. It might just take a little bit of time, that's all. Now, Kidscreen doesn't directly source its article, but it does quote the CEO of the animation studio, who says the aim is to begin production on the show around the end of this year or early next year. Now, if that is when the production begins, we probably won't see this anime until, I'd say at the very least, middle of next year. Probably going to be towards the end of next year though, more than likely. And unless you live in France and have kids, you might not be massively familiar with Pbird Studios, as most of their shows are kid-friendly that airs in mainland Europe. Curiously, the studio has partnered with Square before in the past on a mini ninja series, based on the Western Square Enix video game of the same name, a family-friendly title developed by Hitman Studio IO Interactive back in the 360 era. Any FF9 adaptation is likely to be a production that the company will try to take worldwide, given the international nature of the franchise. Again, that's pretty obvious, Final Fantasy, it's a worldwide franchise, its fan base is worldwide. Any company making an anime, a cartoon, whatever, for Final Fantasy will definitely want it on a worldwide audience basis, instead of just, France, Europe, anything like that. The chances of this being a global project are very, very high. Now, the games have a strong co-viewing potential for those who do not know, Final Fantasy IX. This will be an introduction. Kidscreen quotes Pbird Studios CEO Pierre Sisman as saying, "And for the many who don't, this will immerse them in a universe they'll love." Sisman is quoted alongside Pbird Studios COO Dominique Bourse in a second report on the matter by Animation Magazine. "We are honoured and enthusiastic to participate with our friends of Square Enix in such a great adventure. The pair say in a prepared statement, the opportunity to reach such a large crowd with hundreds of millions of fans around the world, as well as a new public of both kids and adults, is an immense challenge that we feel extremely proud about. It is a dream come true for our teams in France and in the US, and we already look forward to creating a great piece of entertainment that respects this fantastic brand. So straight off the bat, we already know there's a team in France and in the US who are ready to work on this project, further alluding to the fact there will be at the very least an English version of this anime or cartoon. And then finally, Final Fantasy IX is a fairly obvious choice if you were to adapt the series for a kids' TV audience, with a cast of characters, story, and general style that lends itself more to a cartoon-like adaptation, though the production company will likely have to find a way to work in and around all the existential dread that's so key to the game's themes. Now, this part right here is very, very, very accurate. FF9 is it definitely has that art style, that early game story, the characters that would make a great anime or cartoon. But as you start going through the game and you start getting to later areas, you know, like once you get to the Ifa tree, once you meet Eiko, the whole situation with Braun, you've got the whole situation in Terra with Garland and Kuja, all the references to life and death and things like that, those are going to be really, really heavy. And that is the one thing I'm actually worried most about, is they might change the overall story. If they don't change the story, they're probably going to cut a lot out, which means while the start of the show might be really, really good and really accurate, towards the later end of it, things might start getting, you know, a little out of hand, a little crazy, quite a bit different. But again, that's only an early guess from me. Like, I could be completely and utterly wrong, and I hope I am wrong. But since the game is aimed at since the show will be aimed at kids and teenagers, I don't know, I think they might leave some of the darker elements of the game out, or at the very least do it in such a way that kids won't really understand, and it'll be more for the adult audience to take in what really happens, you know? It depends on if they are going to go that route. That is the route I would prefer them to take, rather than them changing everything. But obviously, ideally for me personally, I want it to be a completely faithful show. Will it be? I don't know. You know, I don't even know how long the show would actually last, because when you look at all the important bits for Final Fantasy IX, the game is quite long, but if you were to tell that story over, you know, like a 30-minute show, well, a 30-minute episode show, then I don't know if there's actually enough content there to really last, you know, 12 episodes, 12, 13, or however many episodes they're planning. Maybe it could be 6 episodes, 7 episodes, I don't know. We don't know. Like, we need to wait for more information now. But at the very least, since they're on about starting production, hopefully around the end of this year, I would say at the very least we are going to get more information within the next few months. Well, maybe not the next few months, but I'd say, you know, I mean, well, we're in June now. I would say maybe around November, October, you know, somewhere around that, we're probably going to start getting more information from this. Which is actually going to be really, really exciting, and I can't wait for it. But again, though, guys, it is one of those things now that we're just going to have to wait and see about. I'm certainly going to be following this like a goddamn hawk. But though, guys, that is going to be it for this little news information. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you are excited about this show, or if you're dreading it. Or maybe just leave a comment in general about what you are thinking with regards to this announcement. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well. As always though, everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.